Am I live yet? Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to this new thing live streamed. Okay. Hey, everyone. I'll leave it to you to enter to let people in, Roxanne, if anybody comes in. We'll see. Let me see if I can move this over to.
You need to highlight. You need to highlight.
Oh, yeah, I'll highlight myself. Oh, yeah, thanks, honey. I would have just gone carried away. Later. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Hey, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Just before we start, Herbie, I just wanted to go over a couple things. Number one, I just really have to apologize so much for Herbie's broken ears. I actually honestly don't know what happened. I've never had them break before or any of the little things break before. I'm blaming it on the weather, on the horrible cold snap that they have. It just froze little Herbie's ear. Anyway, I'm not really sure, but I have changed a lot of my shipping materials. I'm just going to get a quick look. So this is what the new Herbies, for all those that are getting another Herbie, this is what it's going to come in. It's on cardboard. It's all shrink wrapped. And so like even with this is the B one, it's on cardboard. It's all shrink wrapped. So this will make everything a lot better. Hopefully things won't break. I won't have it to worry about that at all anymore. Anything to not have to go through this again, because this has been awful. I'll show you the three new things that I've done. I was going to have another one done today, but I wasn't able to get it from Deb until later this morning. So I just didn't have time. I'm sorry, I did not have time to get it done. But these are the ones that I've done so far. This is one of the new ornaments. This is going to be April's ornament. It's so pretty. It is, oops, do that. It is an envelope and it's full of little snowflakes. And yeah, it's just super, super pretty. I just love it. And then this one is, it's just a really vintage plaque. And it's the K. Kringle Company Old Fashioned Candy Canes. It comes with this whole stencil for the background. Oh, see, this is, I did that comment. So every time I say, you can slap me. See, I have to really watch that. So this comes with, it's a 10 by 10 sheet. You're going to have the wood to make this border. It'll all be cut. You just have to glue it on and paint it. And then the two candy canes, the bow, and so it comes with everything here for $12. I mean, it's a really good deal when you think it includes the stencil too. I'm really pleased with that. And then this one, oh, come here, you. And then this is the March seasonal one. So this is the watering can. And it comes with everything. It's got a little spout of flowers coming out of its spout. And this is my sister, Roxanne. I was looking at it to see what I wanted to do. And she said, why don't you? So I did. I put little flowers coming out of its spout. So this is the other one. This is going to be the March seasonal one. And it's really cute. You can either hang it, you can even put it on like a little spike and, seal it and put it outside in the yard. It's really super sweet. This one's going to come with a stamp. And I'm going to show you. So these are so you can use any number of stamps on like that, the watering can. So these are the ones that I have. This one has got the butterflies on it. This one has this, and then all these really cute sayings. This one has sunflowers and other little things. So it's I have a bunch of each of them. So it'll just kind of be whichever one I send you. Because they all work, all of them. You don't really see them in the background, but they just really kind of make it pop a bit. So we're gonna do Herbie now. Wish I could, I'm trying to see, wonder if I can do that. I'm trying to figure out why I can't do something. Oops, that's not it. Dear. I'm just checking this out. I want to make sure that I'm not good. Damn. I'm just checking this out. I'm not sure that I better turn this. Yeah. There, hopefully, I don't know, I'm gonna see if it's going to talk. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, it is. Stupid thing. Trying to figure out why it's not letting me go to here. Oh, here I am. Okay, just. Facebook. Sorry, it's acting up a little bit. It's me. It's really not Facebook. It's really not Zoom. It's me that's making. Why is it doing this? Stop
What's wrong, Deb?
It's I'm trying to get back up to the picture and it's I don't know why it's acting up and it's not letting me get up to it. Keeps doing this. Doing weird. It's not anyway. You can see me, Roxanne.
I can, well, when you.
Okay, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I'm gonna go down here. He thinks it'll be fine.
Okay, so you need to
Okay.
change your spotlight to the piece.
Isn't it on the piece?
It is now, yep.
Yeah. So we're doing Herbie. Love Herbie, so cute. Even though he's being a pain in the little backside, he is so sweet. So I have base coated Herbie in all the colors that were on the instructions that I gave you. So dried clay, there's celery green. I used Timeless for the bunny. I used desert sand for the ear. I'm sorry, I used bleach sand for the ear. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to just give this a nice quick little sanding. If you press too hard when you're sanding, you might get some sanding lines. Sometimes you'll get them if you have a really dirty sandpaper. But if you just press lightly, you shouldn't get any sanding lines. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. I have baby wipes in an attempt to keep clean. We all know that's really not going to work, but I am going to try. So I just want to give this just a really light sanding, being careful around the ear. We don't want to break his little ear off. I have to remember that. I can't tell you how many times I go to pick up Herbie by the ear and I go, oh yeah, don't do that. So I'm just really lightly giving him a sanding. Just to get him nice and smooth. I like really nice smooth surfaces to work with. And again, be careful around here. You can always support the back of his ears by putting your hand under it. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with his feet. I just want to give them a really light sanding. Just really light. And I absolutely love the way See how the edges look? It kind of lifts a little bit of the paint like that. I love that. I think it just looks kind of really rustic-y and vintage without taking hardly any off. It just looks like he's old and a bit of this paint has faded away. So I like that. I'm going to do that same thing with his ear. Again, we just want to smooth this off. I will end up going around the edges. Now, I'm not going to do that right now to these red pieces. I'm going to leave these for a bit, but I'm going to do his ear. This is his little inner ear part on his right ear. Just going to smooth that out a bit. Okay. I'm going to take Maine Herbie. Get the dust off that. So I wanted to just add a little bit more interest to this. Now, this is something that's optional. You do not have to do this. I'm actually just going to put on my little sleeve here because I'm going to get it all over my sweater. I just know it. Okay. So I wanted to add a little bit more interest to the background of this. Something you can do if you want. You don't have to do it, but you can take a stamp, any kind of stamp that you have. There's this little scroll one from the grunge stamp set. You can use any one of these. You're just going to add a little bit of interest to this, and it doesn't really matter what kind you use. Just something really delicate. Don't use something that's, really thick and heavy and solid. I like the more delicate ones better for this. So I'm going to take old paper because I also don't want this to show up a lot. I don't want this to be a focal point. It's just supposed to add a little bit of interest. I'm going to take it. I'm just going to lightly put this on. And again, you can use any stamp you want or none at all if you don't want to use it. I just wanted to add a little bit of interest to this. So you can see I'm really not pressing very hard. It's just very soft. And I'm going to sand this so that it's even shows up less. I'm going to take my sander and just really softly go over this. Like that. Whoops. And then I'm going to distress the edges. So I'm going to take, now this is old paper. I did put up on the site some of my favorite things, and I put up the ones that I use a lot. If you are thinking, gee, I wonder if, I don't want to get that if I'm only going to use it once, I use these over and over and over again. I use these same colors over and over again. So if you want to invest in it, don't worry, you will never be using it just once. So I'm going to go around the outside edge here. And again, this is with old paper. I'm going to take my ink blending brushes. And again, you can pick these up at, say, at Michael's, at Hobby Lobby. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at the Dollar Tree in the down the beauty aisle, believe it or not. And they're actually quite cheap there. You can even get them on the site that cannot be named that starts with a T. They're even cheaper on there. So I'm just going around. I'm not going to go over his face just yet. everything but his face. I'm going to add a little bit of this too. And you can also pick up a little bit just with your brush too. And go over it because you're not going to be able to get in all the areas by rubbing it. I love this green. It just, like it says, it's old paper. It just kind of really ages this color nicely. If you don't have Timeless, so I use Chalky Paint Timeless. You can use bleach sand. You can use desert sand, just add a little bit of warm white to it. Just a really nice soft color. You can even go into light buttermilk if you want to go a little bit creamier. If you're using folk art, you can go into sheepskin. Any of those colors. You may like your bunny a little bit darker. To pick a little bit darker of color, go to desert sand. That is all, up to you. I just tell you how I've done it. So I'm going to do his little cheekers now. I'm going to use dried clay to do this. Now, was able to find some alternatives. So dried clay is just like the old shading flesh. So if you have any of the old shading flesh in your stock, go ahead and use it. If you don't, you can, I like mocha. Mocha is quite a bit lighter than this, but it makes a really pretty, it's a really pretty color. You can deepen it a little bit with shading, add a little bit of raw sienna or something to it, just a little touch into the mocha, and you'll get a color that's really close to this. Or you can just use the mocha. But those are just some alternatives. If you want to go into folk art, this color is called salmon coral, and it is the same as desert sand, same as dried clay. It's a beautiful color. I love this color. And that is in the chalk paint. I haven't found it in the acrylic yet, but I'm sure there is one. Yeah, come here, you. So I'm going to just take my little, this is my little blending brush. I'm going to use this. Move that out of the way or I'm going to end up spilling it probably. Oops. This going on. Oops. Ah. I'm just going into depth simply. I'll stick that way. I can see things. Okay. So I have this brush. I've taken most of the paint off of it. You can always rub it on a little bit of paper towel just to make sure that it isn't too dark. And start off really light with hardly anything on your brush. Get it in the cheeks, and you can start out by pressing really softly and then just increase the pressure as you go along until you get the desired color. But do make sure that you start out really light. You can always go darker, but it's really hard to go lighter.
That's a nice brush, Deb. What is that brand?
This one it's a Prism. It's from Prism. Deb Antoinette gave this to me. You can find these all over. These are on Amazon. They're on the one that starts with T. They're on Temu. You can get these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. They're beautiful brushes. And they are great for doing this kind of shading. And they're called Fine Point. This is a fine point blending brush. This one is angled. You can see that it's angled. They have them and they're flat, so you can get flat or angled. Keiko, I think, bought a set of each. I think she did anyway. And I think she said she got them from Amazon, if I remember correctly. And then I want a little bit more just on the very edges. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit more. And I'm going to just work it a little bit more on those edges. It's like that. Oh, my husband is sneezing. He's had a cold for a little bit now. Poor guy.
He has a
So
man
now
cold.
he has a man cold. And as females, we all know what that means, don't we? Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and find his nose. So his nose is done in dried clay. I'm going to very lightly give it a little sanding. And just again, really lightly. And it softens the color also, which is exactly what I want. So now I've got a nice smooth surface and it's softened. Now I'm going to take a little bit of heritage brick. Honey, did Dorinda did she end up
What? Dorinda's
getting
in.
on?
She's
Is she
online.
in?
She's in live.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. So I just saw that she had trouble.
Oh, sorry, Dorinda, but she is watching us live.
Okay. Yeah, for those that are wondering where to find the Zoom link so they can join by Zoom, you can find it pinned to the features. Also, Phyllis says if you just type in the search bar in Deb Simply Rustic, Zoom, the Zoom link will come up. Good to know. So I'm going to take my heritage brick and I'm going to shade the underside of this. I'm going to just start out a little bit. And I'm going to go around like that. Now, if you're not comfortable shading this way, you can see, if you're not comfortable shading like this, you can dry brush the shade on. So you can dry brush this heritage brick on instead of using your angle brush wet. I'll do a little bit more. I'm going to dry this up. And then I can see if I need to do it a little bit more or not.
Deb, did those brushes have a name?
This
Yes.
is it. Called fine point blending brush. So they are called blending brushes. And this brand is just Prism, but so many places make them.
And
You
Keiko
just
did
have to,
say she got them on Amazon.
yeah, I thought that's what she had said, that she had gotten them on Amazon. So I'm just going to show you, instead of doing another coat with my angle brush, I am going to show you how to do it just using a dry brush. So I'm just going to use this dry brush. I made sure almost all of it was off again. The brush was really dry. You cannot have any water on it. It has to be a dry brush. And I'm just going to go around the edges with it. So that's all I want. I don't want it to be too, oops, let me just fix the camera a little bit. I don't want it to be too dark. It doesn't have to be. But I am gonna take a little bit of white. Now you can use warm white, snow white, you can use, depending on how bright you want it. You can use, if you're using folk art, you can use vintage white or warm white. Again, it depends on how bright you want the little accents. So I'm gonna do this little nose piece right here, this little curve, and I'm gonna do it in the folk art. I'm using vintage white because I have it out, but you can use warm white, you can use bleach sand if you want it to be, to look almost, you know, faded in age, you can use that. I'm just gonna use my favorite brush in the world. This is Chris's, oh, I think that's my old one that I wrecked. I'm gonna get a different one over here. I ordered a whole bunch of new brushes from Chris. Might actually have left my brush upstairs. I'm gonna have to use one of these old ones. I ordered a whole bunch of new brushes from Chris, new liners, 18-aught liners and angle brushes because I use them so much. I'm going to just put a little line just around the top here. Like that. Just a nice little easy curved line. Just like that. Now I want to give it a little splatter. I don't want it to be so harsh. I want it to look like somebody's splashed a little bit of paint on it. So I'm going to take, so I'm just going to use my toothbrush, my old toothbrush, use a little bit of water. I like to get my toothbrush a little bit wet. You can use a splattering brush if you want. I prefer the toothbrush or the denture brush. I just find I have more control. I don't know. I tried the splatter brushes and I cannot work them properly. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to splatter a little bit of paint on that, just like that. And this is Herbie and cute. Okay, so this is Herbie. So this, I'm gonna put his little nose on now. And I'm using, so this is art glitter. This is their glue. It dries really fast. I really do like this. The only thing is that if you glue something on, you make a mistake, people that know me know that I have before ripped things off, that I've made a mistake and decide, oh yeah, I don't want that there or something. Yeah, it does not, this does not rip off. And the lid keeps it on really well. I'm just going to position that on.
Oh my Lord, he already has personality.
I know. Don't you just love his little nose? I love his little nose. So I'm just going to take him and I'm going to put him to the side and we're going to work on the earpieces. Bum, 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 bum. I changed the, what's it called? Ringtone or whatever on my phone for when, you know, someone sends me a message. Excuse me. Just so I know when my daughter does. So now I tell you, the things that come out of it, there is so many things that come out of it. Sounds, and I go, oh, wonder what that one means. Oh, I wonder what that one means. I do it all the time.
Remember
So, oh, go ahead, honey.
I was just going to say the other night when you and I were FaceTiming and I said something and I thumbs up came out of my mouth.
I know, like these weird things, and I don't know if it's an update that they did or what. It was really weird,
Right.
wasn't it? It was weird.
It was weird, but it happened when we were talking to our son also.
Oh, see, it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
I want this to be a little softer. I want this green to be a little softer. I still find it a little bit too dark. So I'm going to sand it even more. And in doing so, you can see how I'm taking the paint off along the edges. Perfect. So you can see how much softer this is. I'm going to take off the excess with a piece of dry paper towel. I use dry paper towel to do it. But see how much softer that is now? So that's perfect. It's exactly what I want. So you can do one of a couple different things. I put these little polka dots on here, and I did them around his little feetsies too. So you can use a little polka dot stencil, or you can just go right ahead and use your ball stylus. Just looking for my ball stylus. I'm going to use my ball stylus just so I can show you. And I'm going to use, so you can use bleach sand, you can use the vintage white. Again, depending on what look you're going for. I'm going to use bleach sand, and I have to tell you, this is the end of my bleach sand, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to try and order some from somewhere. See if I can find some place that'll send it to me, because they don't like to send us stuff in Canada. But I'm going to try. Down to, scraping the barrel here. How sad is that? But I want to put some dots on it. And I'm just going to I like doing different sizes when I do it, some bigger, some smaller. And while I'm doing that, I might as well do it around here. These would go a lot easier if I had lots of bleach sand, but I like the bleach sand, so I'm making myself use it.
Deb Antonick says she found more paint. She'll look through her stash.
Did you, Deb? Thank you. Bleach sand is one of my colors.
Would
You'll
Pinecraft
find,
ship to you? Somebody says. Rosemary says, would Pinecraft ship to you?
I think Pinecraft will ship to us. I'm sure they do ship to us. I'll have to look.
I still say we
I
drive
might just,
down there and get some.
pardon?
I still say when I come down on spring break, we should drive down to the States and get some.
Go down to OMAC. We have to find see if they have it in OMAC. Deb was going to go, but then she couldn't find her passport. I don't know what they have in OMAC. They don't have Hobby Lobby. They have Walmart and they have Dollar Tree. So I don't know if we'd be able to find this in OMAC.
Apparently,
You need to go to Bellingham.
yes.
Bellingham, yes, I do like, I've been to Bellingham. I do like Bellingham. So, yeah, I know. It's sad that we can't get these things up here.
Pinecraft will ship to you wholesale.
Stockade in Canada sells them there. Yeah, Stockade does. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get it. We can't get a lot from Stockade. It doesn't always have our colors. And a lot of us artists, we're very loyal to our color. Like we have our own color scheme, right? That we use all the time. Some people use the brights, you know, some use the vintagey, some use and we use the same colors, and we can't just because they're, you know, deco art or folk art doesn't mean that we can get them, unfortunately. So it's just kind of if they have them. I want to give this another little light sanding, so that's why I'm wanting to make sure that these are dry. I'm just going to put the little feetsies over there, and I want to take my sander, but I think I want to use this one. This is a much finer sandpaper, and I want to go over the polka dots because I want them to look faded. Now I have a polka dot stencil, so you can use a polka dot stencil. I just wanted to show you, if you want to use a bulk stylus, how you can do it. But I would sand it afterwards. I just think it looks softer when it's sanded. You can see it is. It's softer. I just think it looks better. But I'm going to take this now, and I want to do an outline around it. And you can use the bleach sand again, or you can go into, you know, again, the warm white or the vintage white, any of those. I want to outline around this inner ear part, but I want to use my wiggly jiggly lines. And again, these are broken lines. There's, you know, nothing perfect about them. They aren't joined. And then I'm going to just add a few little cross hatches to them. Oops. Oh, I cannot wait for my new brushes. Put more water on that. Just going to dry that a little bit. I'm going to splatter it. Just before I splatter it, though, I'm going to go around the edges, and I'm going to use vintage photo. Oh, vintage photos. Vintage photo. I think these are both vintage photo. Oh, no, that's lathering twig. Oh, here it is right in front of me. Okay, so now, again, one is the distress oxide and one is the ink. And one is obviously much darker than the other. So you can decide what you want. If you want to go with the lighter, or if you want to go with the darker. I'm going to go with the lighter. See if I like it. If I don't, I can go over it with the darker. Yeah, I think this one's going to be just fine. Oh, sorry, Herbie. That's how Herbie's ears get broken. I'm going to go around the outside of Herbie's ear, inner ear part. A little bit of this vintage photo. Just like that. And now I'm going to splatter it. So I have my toothbrush, make sure I have a little bit of water on it. Pick up, I'm using the same color that I used on his nose. So I'm using the vintage white. I would be using bleach sand, but like I said, I am scraping the barrel. So I'm going to use the vintage photo. I'm going to give it just a really pretty, just a light little splattering all over it. I'm just going to put that to this side, and I'm going to pick up this one. This one, I did little cross hatches on it, and I used celery green, and I used dried clay. So this is the inner part of this ear here. So I did give it a nice little sanding. Now I want to go around the edge. So I'm going to use old paper on this one. I'm using old paper just because of the color of this. It's very light, and so I thought the old paper would look better. Just as sort of distressing it and aging it a bit. I'm just going to use my blending brush and just blend that in a little bit over it. Put it aside. Now I'm going to line it. Actually, I think I'm going to give it a little light sanding, just in spots, because when I did the sanding of it to smooth it, didn't really take away a lot on the edges, and I wanted a little bit more distressed looking in there. There, you can see how I've removed some of the edge. Might remove actually a little bit more. I'm just going over it again. There. So I've distressed it a little bit more there. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more of that old paper just around those edges. Not too much. I don't want it very dark. I'll put that there. Now I'm going to take dried clay and celery green, and I'm going to do kind of a little wash check on it. This is just kind of really washed on. I didn't use do it heavy or opaque. I did more of a loose wash on it. Oops, can hear you. So we're going to start with dried clay. So I used quite a bit of water. And I just did some lines. This brush is awful. I know I have better brushes. I'll use this one. So I'm just doing a wash, just a really light wash. I don't want it too dark, and it's going to be really irregular. And then I'm going to take a little bit of celery green, and I'm going to do the same thing beside it. Again, just a really light wash. And you can see how I'm just wiggling the line. I'm not trying to make it perfect at all. I want it to be really irregular. I'm going to go back to the dried clay. I'll dry this a little bit first since it's quite loose. I'm going to start up here, then do another just really soft kind of watery lines. And there is no rhyme or reason to this. Don't, try and be all perfect. Otherwise, it's not going to look right. You want this to be kind of messy and loose. And then I'm gonna come back with a little bit of that green. I'm gonna loosen that water. Go over it with a little bit of water. I'm gonna loosen it a little bit. I'm just going over it with a little bit of water, and I'm loosening these colors a little bit. Like that, and I'm gonna dry it. And then I'm gonna give it a really light sanding. And that's gonna really age these a little bit more. I think I'm gonna have to add a little more splatter onto Herbie's ear too. But we'll do that before we put it on. I'm gonna just take my sanding block again, and I'm gonna just give it a light sanding. You can see how that softened it up. And you can sand it as much as you want until you get the color that you want. So I like that. It's looks aged and old, so I like that. I like how it looks all faded. So I'm gonna just put that there. I'm gonna take his little feeties. I'm gonna make sure that the edges are sanded well. So I'm gonna just use my gator. I'm not sure why it's called a gator. Do you think it's because of the way it's shaped? Like a gator snout? I'm just going around the edges like this. I want to age these. I'm going to take off the excess sanding. Now I'm going to dump this, otherwise I'm going to end up with little specks all over everything. Okay. So both sides are different. This one is just splattered. This one has the lines on it again. But I only did them in the pink, the dried clay. And again, I'm just washing it like I did with the other one. So I'm taking the dry clay and I'm going to wash it on. I'm going to do it in a diagonal. And there's not going to be any fancy. I just want like this. It's irregular again, not perfect. I'm going over it a little bit, kind of wiggling those lines and spreading that dry clay a little bit. And then I'm going to come the other way and do the same thing. What's nice about this is that you can be imperfect. I just think it made Herbie look cute to be imperfect. Like that, and we're just going to dry that off. Now I'm gonna take my liner. I'm just gonna kind of add a few defining lines to it. Like this. I'm gonna do it going both ways, like. And you can see there's nothing, I'm not trying to match these lines exactly, the faded lines. I just wanted to add a little bit of, just kind of did a couple of little defining lines on it. And then we're gonna actually sand this so that it looks much softer. Herbie's all about being used. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna sand it. And this is also gonna soften up these little polka dots that we put on. I'm gonna get rid of these polka dots on this side too, just by giving it a little soft sanding. And then I'm gonna go around it. I want to distress this, so I'm gonna use my old paper. Now you can use old paper, you can use Distress Oxide, the vintage photo, which I actually might do a little bit of it on after I've done, I did the old paper, but I think I'm gonna add a little bit of the vintage photo too, just to give it that kind of a browner tone. I'm just going around it like this. And then I'm going to take my blending brush and just kind of blend it a little bit. Now I don't like it dark. Herbie is just kind of really soft. And so I'm looking at this and I think that's a little bit too dark for me. So I'm honestly just going to take my sander and go over it, and it'll leave some of the brown, but it'll soften it. I don't want it to look like I've deliberately put it on there. I want it to look like it's just kind of gotten dirty and aged. So that's why I'm giving it this little sanding. And now it just looks dirty and aged. So you can see the edges now. So they aren't as harsh as they almost look like they're just a little bit dirtier, which is what I want. I want to go around this one with a line like we did on the inside of this ear, but we're going to do it in the green. So I'm going to do it in celery green. And again, it's going to be one of those just really irregular, wiggly lines that are broken. We're going to add a few hashtags to it. And this is celery green. And you can see how I'm just kind of wiggling these lines in here, making sure that they're broken lines. I don't want them to join all the way around. I want them to be broken. And then I can add a little bit of hashtag here and there. Awful brush. Having a heck of a time with these. I think I have good brushes upstairs. I'm hoping that they're up there. Otherwise, it's very sad. Okay. I'm going to dry this a little bit. And I'm also going to go and just sand this a little bit, just where I've done that line around like that. Okay, now what I want to do is we're going to put the Herbie part together, but Herbie needs some more splattering. I'm going to go into, again, I'm just going to use vintage photo because my bleach sand is, apparently useless. And I'm just splattering all over both of these like this.
You mean vintage white?
Vintage, what did I say?
Vintage photo?
Oh yeah, vintage white. Thank you. And then I'm going to go over Herbie and his feet, his left foot, and I'm going to go splatter on a little bit of dried clay. So I'm just going to use a Denta brush. Again, get it damp, take off the excess. Pick up your dried clay. I always do like to do it on a piece of something just so I can see. I think I need a little bit more water and take off the excess. This way I can see what it looks like. I'm going to splatter some on, and I'm going to splatter it on Herbie too. Now this is the dried clay. So, and it really just gives him some, adds a lot more detail to him. I don't know, I really liked him with that, just this little bit of dried clay sticking on here. And we already added a little bit more onto his ear, so that's good. I'm going to go around both of his ears, have that line on them too. The broken line with the celery green. I'm just going to go around the outside edge of his ear with the broken, wiggly, squiggly line. And you can see how I just wiggly squiggle, lift up my brush so that it breaks the line. And then add some cross tags and cross hatches. And I mean, if you want, you can look at my picture and see where I've done them. Just do them wherever you want. It doesn't matter if you don't do them exactly the way I have them. Okay, so I'm going to add Herbie's little eyes and his little freckles now. I'm going to use the vintage white again for his freckles. And I'm just using my ball stylus. I want a little one. I'm going to use a little one because I don't want his freckles to be too big. There. So I've given Herbie just some little freckles. And if you don't like the white, you can do them, in maybe a deeper color. You can even do them again in the dried clay if you want, or heritage brick if you want them to be the darker freckles. That's totally up to you. I need a little bit of the black, and that's going to be for his nose, for his eyes, sorry. And I'm just giving him 2 eyes here, maybe a little bit bigger. Oop. Sorry, Herbs. He has 2 little eyes. So we're just gonna put Herbie over to the side. Got his feet done, his ears are all done. And we're gonna do the carrots. And then we're gonna put Herbie all together after we get the carrots and the hearts done. These are all painted pretty much all the same. So I'm going to take all the dried clay pieces. And I'm going to use Heritage Brick again. And my angle brush. Use this one. I'm going to use my angle brush. And again, this is Chris's angle brush, my favorite. And I'm going to start walking. So I want to just start out. See, I start out quite a bit and I walk it to the edge. This is just going to shade that carrot. Kind of dance it along. So that way it's not all the exact same all the way along. And I'm going to do that down the left side of each carrot. Remember to always make sure you have enough water on your brush. I'm just dancing it down like that. Starting away from the edge and just dancing it down to the edge. I'm just constantly lifting my brush. And I'm going to do the same thing with the heart. I want to dance around the heart. I'm going to dance around the edge. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to dance a little bit down this one, side too. So I'm doing on the heart, I'm doing down both sides, but I'm dancing it so it's not going to be just a real solid shade down the sides. I'm just dancing it down. Like that. And even with this little teeny tiny carrot, still going to dance it down the left side. Same with the little tiny heart. Gonna dance it down the left side. Like that. Now I'm gonna take these carrots and I want to add just a few little lines where, just to kind of shape them so they look more like carrots. So I'm going to wiggle. So I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to lay it flat on the surface. I want the bristles flat on the surface. Ah! Oh, I touched a little bit of the black. This is when we use our handy dandy little Q-tip. Whew, there, saved the day. Saved the day. I just use a wet Q-tip to take it off. Let's try that again. I'm going to take my brush. I have some Heritage Brick on the end. I'm going to lay it flat, and I'm going to do a little wiggle. And this wiggle is going to add the little, the little lines on carrots, I don't even know what they're called. What are the little lines on carrots, Roxanne? What would you call those things?
Little lines on carrots?
Yeah, the carrots, they kind of,
That's what I would call them.
oh, little lines on carrots. Now you know why she's my sister. Oh, that's funny. Thank you, Roxanne. Oh, you saved me.
I know, right? I
But
just
one of us
I
knew
agreed
it
with
was
you, which you
called.
really like.
I know. So you can see I have these bristles are flat and I'm just bringing it, kind of dancing it into these shaded lines, shaping lines on the carrot.
Diane Cochran has the official name for them,
What is it called, Diane?
ridges.
Oh, yeah, okay. That works. We'll call them ridges. I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower so you can see me do these things. I'm going to bring this a little closer too. Now I'm going to use a little bit of true ochre. I always say things like that, right? Where's my true ochre? I actually had to go hunting for it earlier. Maybe I didn't find where. Oh, no, that's yellow ochre. Oh, there it is. Oh, I knew I had it. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of true ochre and I'm going to highlight it with a little bit of true ochre. And I'm going to highlight it the same way I shaded it, but I'm going to go down the other side. So the left side, I've shaded it with Heritage Brick. The right side, I'm going to dance it with a little bit of true ochre. And that's just going to kind of shape it a little bit more. You can even help with some of the ridge, with some of the lines, the little ridges. But I guess ridges does make sense, doesn't it? And again, I'm kind of dancing these. I'm going to go into these ridges a little bit. Again, don't be afraid. Lift your brush and just kind of dance it on. So I have my 3 carrots here. Now, the little teeny, itsy bitsy tiny carrot, we're going to do the same thing with. Just not as much. So I'm just going to dance it down the opposite side. So it's done too. So these ones are actually done except for the splattery. The heart's all done except for the splattering. You can, if you want, add a little bit of true ochre to this. I didn't bother, but I am going to just really lightly sand these. Just going to soften them just a little tiny bit. And I'm just doing it just so softly. You don't want them to look like they're brand new and every other thing on Herbie to look old, or aged, faded. So I just did a really super light sanding to those. I'm going to just put these over here. I'm going to end up losing all these if I don't keep them all together right there. Now I think I'll get, let's see. Make sure I have Herbie here the way I want him. Now, I still think that's a little bit too dark, but so I'm just going to take my sander and just sand that a little bit, just around the edges. I don't want it to look quite that dark. And again, this is my personal preference. You may like it a little bit dark. I wanted it a little lighter. So I always just look as I'm doing things. After I've done them, go back, look at them, see if there's anything I want to change. So there, I wanted that a little bit softer, even a little bit softer. That's what I do. This is what I do. I sit there and I go over and over and over until it's the look that I want. Okay, I have that. I have that. We have Herbie. We have his carrots. We have his beef. So what I'm going to do is I want to put his hearts on his feet, but to do that, we have to run a little bit of cheesecloth through it. So I'm just going to grab my cheesecloth. I just want to take a little bit of cheesecloth. And I'm going to cut it, just cut a little strip on it, a little piece off of it like that. Going to twist the end. I think I'll run it like this. And like this. And I'm just going to tie it. Give it a little trim. Like that. And then I'm just going to pull on it, separate them up. Like that. And now with this on, I'm going to splatter it. I wanted to wait because I thought I'd probably get I wanted to get a little bit of splatter right on the cheesecloth. And then it's going to go right there. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to this one. It's going to cut a little piece of it, twist the end. Put it through. Have you fallen asleep yet, Roxanne?
Nope, I'm still here.
Are you still here? I haven't put you to sleep.
No, Cheryl Hoover mentioned that she just noticed just a sec, that she thought that the backside of the green piece for the ear needed to be painted, whereas I thought because you don't see it,
You don't see it, so I didn't paint it.
right? You don't need to paint it.
Nope. Nope. You don't see it. The little feetsies, you do. I painted the back side of them.
Okay.
Because they do stick out of the end, but not this.
Oh, she painted the wrong side of them. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
What?
I misunderstood. She painted the wrong side of the earpieces.
What do you mean?
Well, because they fit one way, right?
Yep. Oh, so she painted this side, the other side. Like
Well,
she painted this side. Still goes. I mean,
Still
sorry.
goes.
pull that down. See, I mean, it'll still go. You can, don't worry about it. You can still go. It'll still go
It
in.
just looks a little different, that's all.
Yeah, same with this one. Yeah, I would not worry about that at all. I mean, you can sand it a little bit and repaint the whole thing if you want, but no, I wouldn't. I would just leave it like that. Because it is pretty much the same shape. They're, you know, they're made to kind of fit. Like it's really not going to make any difference. I would not stress about that. Now, because this is got the cheesecloth on it, it's not going to hold with the glue. So I'm going to use my glue gun. Stick the hearts on. Like that. Come here. Come here. I'm going to glue the ears on so that they can dry while we do the other things.
Isn't that too low?
Isn't what too low?
The feet?
They aren't glued on.
Oh, okay.
They are not glued on yet.
Do you want to pull your camera back just a little bit, Deb, so we can get all of Herbie?
Oh,
Yeah. Awesome.
are. So there, these two are done like that. Okay, now this does dry really, really fast. I'm just going to move Herbie over here for a minute. I'm going to take these carrots. Now I used Sweet Annie for these carrots. I don't ship Sweet Annie over the border, like I stated, but I did give everybody. So if you have Sweet Annie or any dried flowers or whatever you want to use as the pieces you can, or you can take, I did give everybody some raffia, and I'm just going to show you what you can do if you want to just use the raffia. I'm going to take a couple pieces of it. I gave everybody way too much. Very generous. I'm just going to riff some like this. And I like to rip my strips really tiny. Like that. So we're going to use these as the pieces instead. So I'm going to just kind of make a little loop like that. I just made some loops. I'm going to cut it and I'm going to tie just around the edge here. I'm just trying to think what would be the best thing to tie it with.
Can't you just tie it with more raffia?
Well, sometimes the raffia tears as when you go to tie it in like a knot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to tie it with a little bit of this string. I'm going to tie it in a little knot. Tie it off. I'm just going to cut that off. Just come here. And then I'm going to trim this. You can trim it to any length that you want. You can even take green acrylic paint or chalk paint and like a little sponge and turn these green if you want. Where's my little dingle fritz? Right here. I'm actually just going to show you quickly what I mean. by that. So you can take a sponge, you can take, you know, a brush, anything like that, and just pounce on some color. And this is, you know, completely up to you whether you want to make these green or not, but you can see how you can make them green and it does look good. And then I'm just going to glue that onto the back of this carrot. Like that. And you can make as many or make this as big or as small, this little thing here, a little flowery end, or make your raffia as thick or as thin as you want. So there's one. So we need to make 3 of them. And I'm just going to do the same thing. So just going to make some loops, trim them, and then they'll go on and I think it looks really good like that. That's just what I did before I got Sweet Annie. So you do not have to use Sweet Annie. You can use just the raffia that I give you. Again, I ripped it into really thin pieces. I made a loop and another loop. And then I'm gonna, again, just gonna tie it. On the bottom. This is when you need someone to say, put your finger right here while you tie it. From the top. And then you just trim it to wherever. I'm going to take the green again. And I'm just going to pounce a little bit of green on it. You can use a really dark green. Didn't want to use a really dark green because nothing else on Herbie is really dark. And I gave this one a little bit more of the raffia. And I'm going to glue it on. Oh. My little light gets tired and goes out every once in a while. So there's 2. And then just the third one. Same thing. Let's take a strip of raffia. You can see I've just used my fingernail to put these in, to separate these into really thin strips. Make my loops. Tie it on the bottom. From the top. Bottom a bit too. Pick up some green. right into here. And again, use any kind of green that you want. You don't even have to do this. You can use the color you can just use the natural color of the raffia if you want. I'm going to trim some of this away here. I'm going to stick that on. And then we have our 3 carrots. I don't want any of this to show through, so I'm going to just trim anything that might show away. Same on this one. Just trim some of that away. That's on the bottom there. Now I want to splatter it with a little bit of the white again. Like that. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to do Herbie's feet a little bit. Not yet. I'm going to do these. I'm going to do them close to the bottom. I'm going to go this one first. Out here. Let me look at his feet. About here, I think. Now, because I've done this to the back, I'm going to have to use the wood glue to glue this on. Like that. I'm going to just hold that for a minute. And then I'm going to glue this one on. I'm going to have it just overlap just a little bit like that. Want that to dry really good. And I'm going to put another one in the middle. Oops. Like that. See these little raffia ends, don't they look good? I thought that they looked really good. Now we're gonna take a little bit of, so anyway, this also, by the way, is the stencil that I used before when I did the ears. So you can use a little tiny stencil like this. This is the CD wood one. If you have a little stencil, I wouldn't use the big dots, use little ones like that. I think I'm going to use a little bit of fabric for this. I'm going to just grab some. I think I actually have some over here too. Want to just take a little bit of this unbleached cotton. I want to make a little bow. But this is quite wide, so you can take the strips that I gave you and just rip it in half like this. You just want enough so that you can tie a little fake bow like this.
I didn't get any unbleached cotton.
Who didn't?
Me,
I don't know who me is.
your sister.
that I might not have given you a whole entire kit.
Oh, just because you know I have.
Honey, if you look inside the cheesecloth, there's probably inside the cheesecloth.
Looking. You guys have
Okay.
no idea what it's like to be her sister.
I give you free everything.
It's wonderful,
Thank you. Good
Oh.
answer.
right?
Good answer. Oh, fell over. I'm just going to take the stand. I want this. I really should have glued this together at the very start, and I didn't, unfortunately. So I'm going to glue this now. Oops. And I am using my glitter art glue for this.
Okay, I apologize. I have some.
Thank you. I figured you did. I didn't want to say anything though. I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute and let it dry. It only takes a minute.
Like
Now
a
we're gonna
recipe
wrap
where you
him.
leave out something.
You what, honey?
Like a recipe where you leave out something.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that to you. Might accidentally miss something because it really is hard packing hundreds of kits. Like it really is hard packing hundreds of kits. And trying to make sure that you don't miss anything, and inevitably somebody's is gonna miss something. And I do apologize for that. Now, I'm going to take this cheesecloth strip, wrapped it around his neck. You'll see like that. And I tied it. It's over in the corner here. Like that. But I want to add just a little dab of glue right where I want it to stay. And I'm going to tie this into a bow. I'm just going to separate this a bit. What are we doing for time? Oops, a little bit over. My husband isn't going to start the hockey game. Will your husband start the hockey game without you?
I'm listening to it.
Are you?
I can hear
Don't tell
parts of
me.
it.
Don't tell me anything.
Well, they're still just doing that.
Oh, the national anthems and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to change that. Did you hear? They're
Yeah,
only
but
going
they're
to
not
start
gonna
doing
do
the
national
national anthem. They're going to, yeah, start doing it the national anthem for whatever country that they're in.
Silly.
So I wrapped it around, glued it right where I wanted the knot to be, and then I made a bow with the rest. And then I'm just kind of separating it. See? I like to kind of rip it a little bit, separate it. One little tiny piece of cheesecloth can get so big that you can see how I'm pulling at it. Don't be afraid to do it. It doesn't matter if you rip it. I deliberately rip mine and pull on it, and yeah. Come here, you. Okay. I'm gonna have a really nice floppy bow like that. I want to now just make a bow. So I'm gonna get my Bodabra. So I have my Bodabra. Little piece of string. Oh, it's come out of its spine. There, now, what have I got here? I'm gonna take some of this. And I'm gonna make a 4-loop bow. Just gonna leave that end hanging there for a minute. And then I'm gonna take this material. Now I use this is a bit different than what's on this one. This one on Herbie is just a straight green. But I tried it with this. I've got some of this checkered herringbone, and I just absolutely loved it. So I'm using it. And everybody got this in their kit. It goes so well with Herbie. I decided to use it. Gonna trim these a little bit. Like that. And then I'm gonna take the rest of my cheesecloth and just kind of wrap it in here a little bit. Like this. Stick it down. Make sure it's good and tight. Tie it up, and then we're just going to trim it. And then just manipulate it. I like to really fluff them up, pull on them. Just make it into a really pretty bow. These are going to have to be trimmed. They're going to look really weird. And this cheesecloth, I just put it all on, and then I just take my scissors and cut a big hunk of it away, and then pull on it. Just kind of rip it up a little bit, and you don't want it to be too much, or you don't want it to be too long. This is just kind of a little accent piece, so I just kind of pull it and kind of rip it a little bit. You can see how I rip it. Trim that back a little bit too. I'm going to take Herbie here. I'm going to stick him. Going to make that bow piece a little bit smaller. So I do fiddle with bows. Turn this stupid thing around here. There. I'm going to take it and glue it on. Here. And then pull all the cheesecloth that's underneath it down like that. And I'm just going to manipulate this cheesecloth. It's a lot of just manipulating the fabrics to get them to look how you want them. I do like him to be kind of a mess. Now I took a little bit of Excelsior. Took a little bit of it. Stuck it in here. And this just adds some more body to the bow. And I'm going to do it on both sides of Herbie. There, and add a little bit to this side of the bow. Oops. Like that, and then just kind of trim anything away. Kind of get that to where you want it. Like that. Now, oh, where's the tags? Ta-da, ta-da. Let's do his ear first. So when I broke the ear, I had to glue it and then it looked weird. And that's when I did this, but I ended up really liking it because it almost looks like he has a little bit of hair there. So I just took some jute string like this and a little bit of cheesecloth, and that's how I ended up getting that it to look like hair. I'm just going to take the cheesecloth, and I've just cut a little, like a really tiny amount of it. Did not have to be much because you do really rip it, right? I really do like to pull them and everything. It's going to be like this. I'm going to tie it around his ear here. Literally right where I broke it when I decided to pick him up by his ear and sling him around. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I took a little piece of this jute or, yeah, kind of jute rope. And I kind of pulled it apart a little bit like this. Take a couple pieces. I think I'm going to take a couple pieces so he looks hairy. You can see how I pulled it apart like this. I'm going to stick it right here. Give this a little tie like that. And then we will trim this. We're going to trim this. Manipulate it a little bit. I think I cut too much of the cheesecloth off. Okay, we'll just pull it a little bit like this. I want it to come down because I want it to look a little bit like hair. I think I'm going to take my glue gun. A little bit of, just a little dab right there. And then bring it down. And that way it'll hold in place. And he looks like he's got a little bit of hair there. And I just thought that made him look so adorable. Now I'm just looking for, because I know I have it, where did I put the tag? Da-da-dee-dum, da-dum. Where did I put the tag? Is it right here? Oh, make another one. Okay. I'm just going to quickly, I can't find the tag that I just did. Oh, here it is. Lord love a duck. Okay. This is the tag. I'm going to just sand around the edge here. You can even use scissors if you want and scrape the edge like this. It does the same thing. It just makes it look kind of old. Messy here. Let's get some of this away. The glue is a little hard on. And then we have this. So I just took some of my distress oxide or distress ink. You can use whatever color you want. You can use vintage photo. You can use there's some of the ones. This is gathered twigs. That also looks good. One. So you can use these. It's whatever kind of a brownie color that you want. And again, if you don't have any of these, you can use like asphaltum, traditional burnt umber. It's a little bit darker to distress them with. Now, I want this to look distressed even more. So I'm going to take, and it's just something that you can do. I'm getting my little dentabrush damp. And I'm going to tap it in here and I'm going to pick up some of the same color that I used around the edge. And I'm going to splatter it on. Don't sit there and rub it like this. You'll wreck the ink pad. Just pounce it on a little bit like that. And then you can see how it's aged it a bit. Now I wrote bunny treats on here, using a stencil. Sorry, one of my stamp sets. Let's use, I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to use the same color. And I just wrote bunny treats. I love looking for the letters.
Right there.
Where is it? Where is it? B-U-N-N. Aha. Y.
To the left, second row.
Thank you. Bunny and then treats. T R
Right there. Under your
E
fingers.
A and another T. Bunny treats. And then I took that little tiny carrot that we did. Watch me try and find it now. Oh, Lord love a duck, I did. Okay, so I'm going to take this little carrot that that I found before. Now I used a little bit of Sweet Annie here. Again, you can use your Rappy and just make a little tiny thing on the end of it. I'm just going to grab my Sweet Annie because it's right here. But again, you can use the same process. And I'll just do a little bit of Sweet Annie so you can see. And you can put, again, as much or as little as you want on. And I'm going to glue this on. Roll over. And the little one said, roll over, roll over. Like that, but I again want to give it a little splatter with the white. I'm going to. And then I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to attach this to the bow here. I want it to hang down a little bit from the bow. I'm going to cut off some of this string. Now I have the wood button. Now you can I used the old paper to distress it. Again, if you don't have any of these colors, old paper, I distress it with, you can again use I would use maybe a little bit darker of a green, go into a maybe a plantation pine. I think plantation pine would look good with this. You want a little bit darker of a green, or you can go into the browns, the asphaltum or the traditional burnt umber, just to do any of the shading with. I'm just going to take my brush and I'm going to literally just go over the whole thing with my brush. Now, the colors that I'm using today are honestly the colors that I always used. Like I always use these colors. I'm going to keep using these colors. So if you're ever out and about and you want to start picking up a few things again, but you don't want to waste your money like, oh, I don't want to buy this if if she's not going to be using it. These are colors I use all the time. So I have the little heart because his ear has a little heart on it. So
You
I'm
want to
going to
move that
just
down a little bit, Deb?
oh yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
Move this up out of the way. So we have a little heart and it just goes right up here. Make sure this is a little bit more even. And I'm going to use my wood glue for this. Try and use my wood glue as much as I can, this art glitter glue for my wood pieces. It's just that if there's something else on it, like the cheesecloth or whatever, that I don't use it. And I cannot use this and add a little dab of the glue gun. It's just so the glue gun will kind of bond it while you're waiting for this to dry. It will not work. They counteract each other and they won't work. Just so you know. Let me just pull on this a little bit more. And then I'm going to get the stand. I want to dirty up this stand a bit. Again, you can use the old paper, vintage photo, whatever color you have that you like to make things look old with. You can. But just before we do that, I just want to go around the outside edge here with a little bit of the green again. So I'm going to use the celery green to go around the edge like we did on the ear. Oh, that's not green. Make my little octopus legs. I'm just going to do these broken lines again. Now you can also do these in asphaltum if you like. I decided to just do them with the green when I did it. I like the green.
It's like the colors you would see in your grandma's kitchen or something.
It is.
Very vintage.
Very vintagey. Just adding a little detail like these up the side just really adds something to it. It's just all these little tiny things that, you don't really realize is going to make a big difference, but it ends up making a difference. Now, one thing that I should have done, I'm going to do it now, and I should have done it before, is do that same broken line around the outside of this. And I should have done it before we did all this other, but I forgot because I'm not perfect. I do need more water on my brush.
Calendar. I need a calendar. Did you just say that?
What? Oh, we know I'm not perfect. Everybody else is just beginning to realize it too. That's sad.
You're perfect for me. I love you.
Thank you, honey. You too. Okay. I'm going to pull, just a minute, some of this cheesecloth.
I can't believe Joyce didn't jump in on that one.
I know. Or Dorinda.
Right?
What is wrong with these ladies?
I know.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, whoops.
Concentrating.
You're concentrating. Now I'm going back to the stand. Oops. And I am just going to dirty it up. Just, it's all I'm doing. It's, you know, perfect. And I do not want it to be perfect. I'm just gonna grab a bit of, you can use any color you want to dirty this up into your, you know, into your, any of your inks or your distress inks or oxides, or you can go and use, you know, asphaltum or whatever. We just wanted to dirty that up a little bit. Now it's
Dorinda
gonna
says
go in
you're a
here.
riot.
Now, the little feetsies have to go on, but I want to put them, and they're going to be cute. Look at him. Okay. I have to glue him in here, and I have to glue him in here before I put his feet on, because his feet actually rest right on the stand. But it's going to take a while to dry. But I know where it's going to be, so I am just going to glue the feet on so that you can see. Yes, I'm good. Okay. I'm gonna just put some of this glue onto the back of here. And I'm gonna lay him a bit like that. And he will dry very quickly, so we're just gonna leave him be. And I'm gonna put a little bit on here. And like so. And a cute, I think he's just a cute little bunny. Gonna let him glue down for a minute. Now, I'm not going to glue him in the stand because I don't want to lose his feet, but I'll show you what you do. So I'm just going to pick Herbie up. I'm going to run a bead of this glue in here, and then I'm going to pick Herbie up, put him in, and I'm just going to hold him nice and straight until he's secure. Now, if you're at all worried about him wobbling at all, you can take something like a popsicle stick or, you know, one of these craft sticks like this, and you can actually, I don't know if I did it with this one. No, I didn't have to do it with this one, but you can, after you've glued him, is glue a popsicle stick down one side and then stick it right on the, like that. And it will just secure it a little bit more. But as you can see, I didn't need to do that. I did not need to do that with this. So you shouldn't need to, but you know, if you let go too soon and it starts to wibble wobble and then you worry about, and then you're worried, that's what you can do. But there is Herbie. And there he is with his carrots that we made out of with the raffia, which I think turned out super cute. So you don't need to have Sweet Annie if you don't have it. I can't ship it over the border. I'm always worried that they're gonna think it's something else and then start flagging all my packages, and we don't want them to do that at all. But there's Herbie. He's just the cutest little thing. I'm just gonna move this up to me. Hi. I can take that off. Anyway, so there's Herbie. I'm gonna hold him up and I will glue him on as soon as I know his feet are done. But there he is. Isn't he absolutely adorable? He's really so easy to do when you're not having to, you know, sit and explain it so much like I do, but he's very easy to do. So sweet. And again, these turned out so super cute. You don't have to use the Sweet Annie. This was a fabulous alternative. But yeah, there he is. Cute as a button. I hope you all enjoyed her little Herbie. Um, yeah, I'm gonna glue him in as soon as the class is over. I just want to make sure that I have time just to sit and hold him. The 3 new things are up on the site.
Will you
I am
show them again, please?
Still little Herbie?
No, the 3 new pieces.
Oh, yes, I will. Okay. This is the envelope. This one is called Snowflakes from Heaven. And this is the little ornament. This is going to be the April ornament, Christmas ornament, and it's pretty, just so soft and delicate, so pretty. And it comes with everything, comes with all the snowflakes. Yeah, everything that you
Love
see
it.
it comes with.
Love it.
Yeah, it's turned out so pretty. I was really happy with it. And then this is the Kris Kringle.
That is so cute.
Open, I know, and you know what? It's so easy. Like, I mean, this is a stamp, so how easy can it be, right? However, I am going to say I did use the inks for this. So, and I used oatmeal, the folk art oatmeal. So again, if you want to paint it just like me, folk art oatmeal and the frayed burlap distress ink. I am going to put this up so that everybody knows. And again, these are colors I will use continuously, so you will get your value out of them. They really aren't that expensive, but you will get your value out of them because I use them all the time, these colors. And then the third one is our little, what's it called? Seasonal one. And this is the watering can. And you can either hang this or you can, it's a garden. Yeah. You can either hang this or you can put it on a little spike, seal it and put a little spike in, or, you can hang it, have it out your front door. It's got the little flowers coming out of the spout. So yeah, it just turned out really super cute.
Is it possible that when you post the picture of that one that you could list those 2 items that you
Yes,
talked
I
about?
will. I will.
Then I can start looking for them.
Yeah, I'm going to put them up in the group. And again, you can get them on Amazon and all those places. But yeah, the folk art chalk paint oatmeal and the distress ink old burlap, frayed burlap. So I will put them up in the groups just so that everybody can see them. And again, their colors I'm going to use all the time. So they're really worth it. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed little Herbie. I am shipping out. Deb said I was going to have everything all my pieces by Monday, all my orders. I actually have all the bees packaged, all the and then everything except the wood pieces I'm putting together so that when I get the wood pieces, I can just send them all out. She said I'll have them all on Monday, but I think the wood place told her she can't pick up her wood tomorrow. She can't get it till Saturday now. So I probably won't get them all until Monday, late Monday. So I probably won't ship until Wednesday of next week, but then everything will be out. Will go out, including everybody, all the Herbies that had to be replaced. So yeah. Okay, everybody, thank you. Have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend. Oh, Saturday is the bee. So those that are joining me on Saturday, we're doing the bee, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's noon Eastern.
How about next Thursday?
Next Thursday is, next Thursday, Believe. We're doing Believe.
The
All the
Believe,
stencils, the
Believe sign.
yeah, the Believe sign, and all the stencils have been mailed out, so you should all be getting them.
I got mine.
So
Yes.
you got yours?
Yes.
Yeah. So West Coast people are already getting them, so So I wanted to make sure you all got them in time to do the believe piece. So
Yay! And your
Yay.
new pieces that you just showed tonight, when will they go up?
they are up. They're all up.
They're up already? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're all up. And again, I will list everything and everything that I'm doing now. I try and make sure that I have the stencils and the stamps to go with them. So, yeah, it just
Are you
makes it a
gonna
lot
show
easier.
us, are you gonna show us the one that Deb cut, but you haven't?
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is the, I'll give you a quick look at. So this is the one of the other ornaments that we're going to be doing. So this is the stocking. So I haven't had time to paint. I just got it late this morning, so I haven't had time to paint. This is going to be the stocking, and it's going to have three little things coming. It's three-dimensional, and it's going to have, one's going to be a Raggedy Ann, like a
Oh,
Raggedy Ann
that's cute.
doll. Yeah, it's going to be so cute. I can't wait to paint it. I had it all drawn out. It's so cute. Raggedy Ann doll, and then there's two other little pieces that are going to be in it. And it's going to be an ornament, like we did the mitten, but this is the stocking. And Raggedy Ann, I mean, come on, it's
I
going to
love
be so cute.
Raggedy Anns. They're so cute.
I know, I really wanted to do a Raggedy Ann. So, yeah. So that one will be going up next week. Two of them will be going up next week, the last two ornaments. And these are the April ornaments, so April, May, and June. These ones that are coming out. So yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye, Joyce. Goodbye,
It was
Teresa.
great
Goodbye,
fun.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye,
Have a great
everybody. Goodbye,
weekend.
Teresa.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Deb.
Okay. See you Saturday, guys.
Bye.
Bye.